Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So it is Cypher Sigma here. It's the midweek, so it's another video of what I've been watching over the past 2 weeks. So first off, we have all of this. So box set heavy. I know you can't see some of them there. That's fine because we turn it upside down. They go from, as you can tell, maybe from my voice, I'm getting ill again, or I've not recovered from the last one properly. Such fun. And then we have a fair few things. So we shall start off with the online stuff first. So first off, the first thing I watched, just released Marvel Zombies. Took me a few days to get round to watching all of it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I like these kind of passion projects or these projects from Marvel where they just take something from the reality, something from the MCU, something kind of completely separate and can enjoy and do it. Obviously, this features aspects of the Thunderbolts team and stuff like this. So for me, it did appeal to it because obviously I'm a big Thunderbolts fan. Kamala Khan, obviously I'm a big fan of hers as well, Ms. Marvel, and I enjoyed that she has front and center. In fact, there were other elements like Icarus and Captain Marvel fighting and stuff like this I thought was very clever, and the Scarlet Witch being the evil person kind of that she is, and just having a load of random characters in there that you could kind of link up, you know, like Shang-Chi and stuff like that, I thought was very good. Hopefully we get a second series or something more from that. I way preferred Marvel Zombies over Eyes of Wakanda or even the What If ones. I think this is by far the best. So that is the first one up. Next one up, also on Disney, there was Elio. So this is the latest Disney movie that unfortunately was a flop at the cinema. It was only out for a few weeks. Me and my wife unfortunately didn't get to see it. So we watched it on home entertainment and we did enjoy it. It is essentially a young lad who has no friends. His parents die. He lives with his aunt. He wants to be abducted by aliens. He ends up being abducted by aliens, but then they confuse him to be the ambassador of the world, and then he kind of has to try and save the planet. It's a fun watch. It's an enjoyable watch. It's not the most spectacular Disney movie. It felt like it was missing that shine. It was missing that kind of magical element. You know, Gordon, the evil one, and Elio's relationship was really, really good. Those two worked. The fact that, you know, had the creatures and what they consist of and stuff like this. It was really cool. As I say, it just felt like it was missing something to make it special, as like Disney movies are. Maybe just there's too many of them now. So there was that. And then the third one I'll do, we've got a few more, but we'll go. So is Alien Earth. So this is the Alien TV series that was also on Disney. And I found this as total 8 episodes was all right. I understand why they did what they did, and I understand how the story was. For me, there was just so many elements going on. You know, you have these 5 nations. You have Weyland-Yutani, and you have obviously the guy, the genius. You have all these kids who are then like synthetics. You have kind of the crew of the ship that you learn about when it crashes. You then have these 5 aliens that don't really do a lot except the xenomorph. And then you've got a few other people littered in here, there, and everywhere, like the brother of the girl and stuff like this. And there was just so many elements going on that most of the episodes you're just learning about characters and just trying to build the world up. Whereas this kind of should have been, let the aliens run free and let's have that side of things, because and it's funny that they find like 5 alien species over 5 different planets, worlds, whatever. All of them want to kill everyone except for the eye. Or the eye does want to kind of take over. I quite like the eye goat one when it tripped the android in, and there was stuff like that. And I really like the fact that that could have been taken a little bit further. But I mean, if you had the xenomorph and that as the kind of 2 aliens that were on it, and you got rid of the rest, or you maybe had 3, maybe you get rid of the plant, maybe just had those 2 bugs there. So you had I think that would have been more of enough. Say the kid who runs the other planet I found whiny, the whole thing of, I understand him having kids and, you know, giving him a second chance at life and effects was great, but then you had all their backstory and stuff, and I said there was just so much going on with all these other people, and then, you know, and then the synthetics befriending the xenomorph and stuff, and it was just like, this almost would never happen, you know, the xenomorphs are just out there to kill everything. I get it that there's been some kind of connection with this one. You know, maybe she is classed as their queen. But I just thought there were elements that I just struggled a little bit with this. And I say there was just so much going on that at the end of it, yes, you've killed off some people. You have all creatures more or less have survived. Half the people have survived. All the kids, or most of them, are still alive. But I'm not interested to see where this story goes at the end of the day. I'm a bit, you know, it wasn't enough to entice me in. So anyway, there is that. So we will get onto the physical media. So first off, we have Birds of America. So this is one I've had for a little while. I believe I've seen it already once. Obviously, I'm a big Matthew Perry fan. Essentially, this is there are 3 kids. So he has a brother and a sister, and his brother and sister are a little bit mental. Ben Foster and Jennifer Goodwin, they both come home. He's having problems with his partner. That potentially he's trying to make partner. He's a bit of a suck up to his boss, who's this kind of friend. And he just has kind of a miserable life, and there's just all these chaotic elements in it. And at the end, he kind of finds the source of freedom. But it is so haphazard across the whole way that I was just meh. As much as a lot of the reviews rave about how good he is at it, I feel that he just is such a down and out person, and his family is so chaotic and take everything from him, that then he chooses his family. I'm like, but surely they're the bad. I get it that he needs to grow as a person anyway. But yeah, so this unfortunately will be leaving the collection, even though I like Matthew Perry. I just can't. I'm just not going to watch it. I've watched it twice. It's not going to take. Not for me. Next up, because I want to revisit because of Alien Earth and aliens and stuff, was Evolution. Absolutely loved this back in the day. Rewatching it, still keeps up to everything. Obviously, Get Up, Drop the Bombshell, the song. Oh, pardon me. You know, remembering stuff of, you know, where Orlando Jones eats ice cream. I don't need to say any more about that scene, and like how it, you know, you see stuff like this is like, you know, Ivan Reitman it's just a great production, great cast, works completely across the board. Love it, would watch it multiple times. So that stays in the collection. Next up, me and my wife have been watching this probably over the span of 6 months. So this is A Touch of Frost, all 15 series. Yes, 15 series. So my wife bought this for I think £22. Really, really good. If you like David Jason and you like classic, like Only Fools and Horses, which we've gone back to recently, this is really good. It's obviously, most episodes are an hour and a half. Some series are 3, 4. They get later on, there's only 1 or 2. And there was 3 endings shot for this, which we got to watch them all. We prefer the ending that happens, even though we don't prefer some bits. I don't want to say too much, but it's good. He kind of had a happy ending. It kind of finished everything off, you know, and he's such a warm character and funny character that you get to enjoy throughout the whole trials and tribulations of him being a copper. And, you know, he always gets injured and stuff like this, or his house bursts down or stuff like this. It's quite funny, nicking people's cups of tea. There just are elements of David Jason. You know, they don't make anything like this. And yeah, it was an absolute pleasure watching it. Look forward to finding something else like that to rewatch. So next up was a steelbook that I bought recently. It was Live, Die, Repeat, or Edge of Tomorrow, the 3D version. Really enjoyed this movie. Really enjoyed the rewatch of it, seeing the elements that come together. I mean, I like time skips. I know, speaking to AJ and stuff like this, we have very mixed thing. AJ finds it very boring that they go over the same sort of thing. For me, I quite like that because I like how they make it different, and the fact it's all about experience. And maybe this is my more background of playing a lot of computer games and leveling up characters and doing stuff like this. I understand the need of repeating a lot of stuff, and maybe that's why my brain understands of stuff repeating itself and makes totally sense. And I like Groundhog Day and stuff like this. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed this side of things. And obviously the sci-fi element was quite clever of how it all works. But yeah, glad to have that in the collection, and nice steelbook and quite cheap. So next up we have is Saw 1 to 8. And not only do we have Saw 1 to 8, we also have 9 and 10 here, Spiral. Now, I don't know if this video would have been out or it will be out. There is a ranking of these 10 films. So I'm not going to go too much into what I like about these and what I don't, because there will be a separate video to rank lists. Obviously, as we're in the holiday period for Halloween and stuff, this is why I've gone a little bit more into horror. And when the door goes, that really kind of impacts. So apologies, the camera's probably moved and everything because I had to get up. So as I was saying, we will go. So we have the Saw franchise. So I say I've done a video, I've ranked them all together, but I really enjoyed the rewatch. Thank you, AJ, again, for gifting me this. Glad to have that. Very interesting. So people who come across this box set here, this is Saw 1 to 8. Now, you may notice, where's my finger? You may notice here it says regions A, B, and C, and then there's a region A here. Now, this is classed as multi-region, should play on anything. But essentially, what that little symbol is, 1 to 7 are A, B, and C are multi-regional, and number 8 is only US. So I found this out of, I watched the 7 movies, went to watch Jigsaw, and the blue, because this contains Blu-ray and DVD, and the Blu-ray and the DVD both were playing on my Xbox. I'm like, well, wait, on all of the other ones, I've got a multi-region DVD player, so I managed to watch a DVD of 8, thank God. But I was like, what's going on here? And then I'm looking at these rankings, and I'm like, oh, that's what that must mean. That's a bit sneaky to have, 7 of a multi-region and 1 not, but they've not really, it's not really clear. It doesn't really state anything. And I mean, if you were, it even says like regions up here, A, B, and C, which is technically correct, but not for all of the movies. And obviously it's very small writing here for number 8, if it even says anything to say I can't literally see anything. Oh no, actually I lie. It says it here. So the top 7 movies are here, and top 8, it does tell you that it's region A. That's a bit, I say, maybe you don't know, maybe this is like an American edition, who knows. Yeah, really enjoyed the movies, really enjoyed the story of John Kramer. I'm happy for it to stay as a set of 10. It doesn't need any more in my eyes, but who knows. So that is the Saw movies. So we will go back to online stuff. So obviously I have Crunchyroll, so what I've been watching is Kaiju number 8. So this is the season 2 of this movie, where basically this character has a kaiju demon has infested them, and they can now become what is classed as kaiju number 8, just because it's the 8th kaiju that they've come across. This evolves the characters. It starts off with a kind of a big battle, and then kind of dwindles it down to the start of another battle, but it leaves it very open that there's a battle, someone goes to get injured, Kafka Hibana saves the person, and then that's it, and it ends, and you're like, when's the next episode coming? And you're like, oh no, that's the end of it. And I'm like, that's a really weird way to end an anime series. I'm enjoying it. Things are moving quite fast, that I suspect this will only be a few more series before this is ended. It's enjoyable because I like kaijus, I like aliens, I like Pacific Rim and stuff like this. So this is right up my street. It's interesting to meet the characters, and a few of the other smaller characters had a bit more of a role. And we got to learn a bit of backstory to them. So there was that. Then next up we had on Amazon Prime, The Girlfriend. So I chose this. So this is a 6 episode series. Is essentially about a young man finding this girl and detailing their life together, and it's kind of ups and downs, but the story split. So the one half of it is done by the girlfriend, and one half is done by the mum. And it's weird to see stuff from their points of view. So you kind of see like the girlfriend's point of view for the first half, like first 20 minutes of the second half, you see the mum's half, and they've got different kind of perspectives of how stuff is, which is very clever, very one. And then it goes very dark, very easy. There's a bit of foreshadowing at the beginning of something will happen. And then obviously as you go along, you see stuff and you're like, oh, did that happen? And then and I say, I only noticed in the first episode that something happens. And I'm like, that's interesting. And then when you see it from the other perspective, what one person thought, the other person thought completely a different one. And it's very clever. I like that. I like that. Keep your brain thinking. Goes to a dark place by the end of it. Not giving away much of any spoilers, but I really enjoyed the series. Good as a standalone. Doesn't need any more. but that's good because we struggle with series. And then the last series I've watched is on Netflix is Wayward, and oh my god, probably the worst thing I've seen in 2025 for series wise is this. Um, this is done by Mae Martin. They play the lead role. They're like a trans man in this kind of wayward little town. Wayward, Tony Colletti kind of runs this kind of school for rehabilitating people, but it's kind of a cult, and she's kind of burning into. But it's written by Mae Martin, and there are elements there that you could kind of get a story. I don't mean any offence to Mae Martin, but they are not a very good actor. It does not come across. They are not suited for the lead role in this story. Someone else should have easily done it. A lot of the acting around them is not very good as well. There are a few, Tony Colletti, there's this police chief, and one or two other people whose acting is quite good. They're really good actors and actresses. The rest of it is not very good at all. And it kind of, as you go along, it gets weirder and worse. And you kind of think it's going to lead one way, and the ending goes completely the opposite. It takes a kind of twist at the end, and I was just like, what an absolute shit show, pardon my French. Now, I've not seen anything else Mae Martin's in. I've seen her in in Taskmaster, and I sat there and thought, yeah, this is not great work. This is not blowing it. I mean, me and my wife really big fans of Toni Collette. This is why we watched it, because we watched a lot of stuff from Netflix and that, and know that she's really good in. So yeah, so Wayward, probably the worst series I've seen in this series. So that is everything on the streaming sites that I have seen. So then we get to the final two. So first off, we have this anime series I've watched. So this is on my list over there, Assassination Classroom. And this was actually a real surprise. So what has happened of, you have this tentacle guy, he's kind of an alien. He blows up the moon, so the moon is now a crescent shape, which is why there's a crescent moon there on his tie. But then he takes over the classroom of 3E, which is the worst class in this kind of Japanese school. He basically gives them one calendar year he's going to train them, and basically they have to assassinate him or he will blow up the earth. Essentially, he is trying to improve these kids' lives. People get added in, the government are kind of involved there. There's special weapons that are created for him. And it's all about his class. The first series is very happy-go-lucky. It only seems to cover over a month. And then the second series is the next 2 months. The second series takes a bit of a more drastic turn. You get to learn where they came from and what the understanding is of the teacher. And it has a very somber kind of ending. Very confined series. By the end of it, I really enjoyed the characters. It's just a fun watch most of the way through. And then at the end, starts to get quite emotional. And I'm quite, that was really good. You don't realise they've been kind of luring you into this whole story the whole time, but really, really good. I can see why it's on the top 100. Obviously, it didn't cost me a lot. I think it's £15 for the whole Blu-ray collection, because I traded some stuff in. So then we have the final one. As we are in the horror season, it is Sleepy Hollow. Haven't seen this in a long, long time. Like Tim Burton, like Johnny Depp, really, really liked it. Ichabod Crane, sent to this Sleepy Hollow town. Basically, the headless horseman's killing people, but he doesn't know that, and then he comes across it, and then there's a kind of a ploy to it. I remembered little bits of it. Tim Burton's world building is always great. This movie is, I say, a feat of art and spectacular. It's really, really great. Christopher Walken as the headless horseman, I thought was quite a clever one. Obviously, learning his story and how we link it. Even Johnny Depp, just a very somber Depp, just doing what he does best, was really, really good. But yeah, so that is look what I've been watching, or look at everything I've been watching over the past 2 weeks. Anything you agree, disagree, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below. Otherwise, I shall see you in another 2 weeks for another load of stuff I've been watching. Otherwise, and then stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.